That was great, Pete.
Thank you.
How old were you when you started playing piano?
It's about 11 when I started taking lessons.
11?
Yeah,
I heard you practiced a lot when you were a kid.
I did. I got a lot of grief from the neighborhood boys for not coming out and playing football, staying home and practicing the piano instead. Yeah, they gave me a hard time.
So, what other instruments did you play?
Well, I played trumpet for a while. Just as I was starting to get good, someone told me, if you really want to be good on an instrument, you stick with the one instrument and you focus on the one instrument. I listened to him, so I dropped the trumpet.
Good advice.
Yes, you know.
Yeah. Is your family musical?
Yeah. My brother Brian is a great guitarist and a great songwriter. Really a phenomenal guitarist. And my mother used to play piano by ear. My sisters both play classical piano. My brother Patrick's a dancer. He's been all over the world with different ballet companies and flamenco companies. So yeah, there's a lot of music in the family.
So, which musicians do you admire?
Well, there's so many of them. It's hard to pin it all down. But obviously, some of my greatest influences on the piano were Jerry Lee, Fats Domino, Professor Longhair, Dr. John. You name it. I mean, there's a lot of musicians I enjoy listening to. Can't play anything like them. Art Tatum. And then there's the singers. Love Gene Vincent. Love Elvis Presley. Love Sam Cooke. Howlin' Wolf. Hank Williams. That list goes on forever.
Cool. Who's your first teacher? Do you remember?
Well, I don't remember her name, but I do remember that she was pretty young. She was only in her 20s, and she used to give me the regular classical lesson, basically. And then at the end of the lesson, she had what you called the fun segment, and it was all boogie woogie. She was showing me boogie riffs and stuff, and it was a fun segment. I would go home and listen to Jerry Lee after that, and just, instead of practicing my lesson, I'd be banging out boogie woogie.
What are your fondest musical memories?
Oh, there's so many. Being on the road for 25 years, from 17 to my late 30s, I opened up for and closed for a lot of great bands. Got to see a lot of great music. So there's a lot of great musical memories. There's Screamin' Jay Hawkins and Carl Perkins and Evan Johns and the H-Bombs, Paladins. I've seen so much great music out there. It's just, it's not the stuff you hear on the radio, but
yeah.
it's so good.
How do you handle mistakes during a live performance?
Well, usually just try to barrel right on through them and act like they didn't happen. But if they were really obvious, then you try to hit them again, just the way you did. Make it sound like you're doing it on purpose.
It must take some skill.
Well, it's more a matter of repetition.
So, do you practice often?
I try to, but I don't practice as often as I should. Now, when I got a new piece to learn, I spend a lot of time on it.
How do you balance your music with other obligations?
Well, right now my life's not too busy. I'm going to be going back to school, but other than that, I got all the time in the world to spend on music right now. I should be spending more time on it.
You ever thought about teaching music?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the reasons I'm going back to school is to equip myself for that. Because I would like to teach, get some youngsters into some of this stuff that I'm into as well.
Yeah. Well, as I know, your band was pretty revolutionary in the 80s with bringing rockabilly to Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, it was kind of strange playing rockabilly in these parts in the early 80s. People didn't know what the word meant. And you say rockabilly, and they'd say, rock what?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they confuse it with, oldies, and then they start yelling out for us to play Duke of Earl or something. We're not a doo-wop band, sorry.
Well, what are your plans for the future with music?
Well, I'm gonna start doing some more studio work. I've got a lot of music that I'd like to get recorded, original stuff. A lot of it's religious music, and a lot of it's just straight ahead rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be doing a lot of recording. I'm going to put together a new band, hopefully, within the next 6 to 8 months, and get out there and start playing live gigs again.
Cool. Great. Are you going to make a new album?
Well, yeah, that'll be in the works.
Mm-hmm.
I've got plenty of material, but I kind of like to have the right group of guys together before I go in and really try to make an album, because I don't like piecing it together.
Right.
I'd like us to get in there together and play it live.
How do you feel about software like Auto-Tune?
I hate it.
You hate it?
I think it's cheating, and it sounds like it anyway. Yeah. It doesn't sound natural.
Right.
Not to me.
So you're more orthodox when it comes to...
Yeah, and that's why I say I'd like to get into the studio and basically lay down everything live as can be.
Right.
I mean, vocals sometimes you're going to have to go back over them because they're not always the way you want them. But if you got a nice tight band, you can knock out a track, of everybody playing together all at once, and it's a lot more energy, a lot more soul.
I hear when you're in the studio, you're a bit of a perfectionist. Is that true?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's no reason to come out of the studio with a bunch of mistakes all over your record, or not getting the sound that you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with the technology we have now, there's no excuse for, not getting it.
Would you mind taking us
Thanks,
out
Cliff.
with a song of your choice?
All right, well,
Thank you.
I can play a little, just noodle around a little bit for you before we go.